What's up, everyone? Welcome to Kickin' with Kipes. It is the Four Nations Faceoff. It's finally here, best on best. International hockey, where the best players in the world, not all of them because we're missing some countries, are coming together in Montreal and Boston in the next week and a half, facing off against each other, and we will see how it looks with all these incredible hockey players looks on the ice at the same time facing off against each other. Let's go into the depths. This is just gonna be a quick little video kind of saying what's going on in the tournament, when are games, and so on and so forth. But thank you so much for being here. Let's have some fun. Starting off, let's just talk about what this tournament is. It is four nations: USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden taking on each other. Each team will face off against each other one time in this tournament in the round robin, and then the best two records in overall will face off in the championship game. This is the first best on best tournament since the World Cup of Hockey where this happened in 2016, where a bunch of teams, there was Team Europe, there was Team North America, but that will not happen in this tournament. There is just four teams, and yes, we're missing Germany, we're missing Czechia, we're missing the Swiss. So yes, there are a ton of players that aren't going to be at this tournament, but we're going to focus on what is ahead of us and what we are going to be looking forward to. The tournament, it starts in Montreal. All four teams are there right now doing practices and whatnot, but then the tournament will move to Boston, where the rest of the round robin will take place and the championship game. The tournament, it will start off in Montreal tomorrow night, where Team Canada faces off against Team Sweden. And yeah, then the next day will be the States taking on Finland. As Jeff Probst says in Survivor, this is what we are playing for. This is the trophy that each team, or not each team, the team that wins this tournament will receive. And at the same time, they will also, the rumor is that there will be gold medals for the winners as well as on top of this trophy. So I'll put on the screen right now what is going on in this tournament that's different than regular NHL play. This tournament will be all exclusively NHL rules, except overtime, it'll be 10 minutes for round robin games instead of the 5 minutes in regular NHL games. The second one is it'll be 3 points for a win in regulation, while in the NHL it's 2. I love how they're trying something different in this tournament where it won't affect a season. So you might as well try something different in a one-off tournament. It'll be 2 points for a win in overtime or shootout. So you get rewarded for an extra point if you win in the shootout, but it will still also be one less point than winning in regulation. So there is a heavy emphasis for getting the job done in regulation. And if you lose everything in overtime or the shootout, it will be 1 point granted to you. I still hate the loser point, but at the same time, I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. And 0 points if you lose in regulation, like usual. Like I mentioned earlier, it will be the top two teams advancing to the finals in the TD Garden in Boston, where they'll use regular NHL rules for the overtime if it comes to that point, where it'll be 20 minutes, sudden death, no matter what. And yeah, it'll just keep going and going until somebody decides to score in overtime. I should clarify, though, that in the round robin play, it will be 3-on-3 for 10 minutes and then a shootout. But in the championship game, like I just mentioned, it will use regular playoff format where it will be 5-on-5 for 20-minute periods and until somebody decides to score. So let's quickly go through each team and what the projected lineups are going to be. Yes, it's going to change day to day as they try to figure out what is the best. I got these pictures and information as best as I could at the moment, but it is subject to change at any moment. So here are the lineups projected for Team Canada starting off in this tournament, starting on Wednesday. It'll be McDavid centering Marner and Reinhart. This is just going to be a whole spiel of me going, holy crap, this is insane. And then second line will be Crosby, McKinnon, and Mark Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights. This has changed since I got this picture, and it looks like McKinnon will take center between Crosby and Stone, which is very interesting that the Nate Dogg will be centering Crosby. What an experience. Those two East Coasters will have a lot of fun together. The third line will look something like this: Braden Point centering Brad Marchand and Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis is having an absolutely incredible season with the Carolina Hurricanes, so it'll be so fun to see what he can bring to the international stage. And then the fourth line, Anthony Cirelli, Sam Bennett, and Brandon Hagel. That is incredible as a fourth line. Holy crap. The defensive core of Team Canada, let's hope that this defense can stand strong in front of these goalies. We'll get to them in a little bit, but at the same time, it'll be Devon Taves with Cale Makar. That's absolutely incredible. You can already guarantee that there will be chemistry between these two because they play together for the Colorado Avalanche. Next up, we got Shea Theodore on the left with Drew Doughty on the right. Drew Doughty, it should be Mackenzie Weegar. I just got to put that in there one more time. I will support Doughty. He is a veteran of the game, and he's one of two players from the 2010 Olympics that are still representing Canada. So he's just a journeyman of the league and for his country. The bottom pairing will look like Morrissey and Parayko of the St. Louis Blues. That's so good. That is also very big on the right and very quick and agile on the left with Morrissey. He's a very offensive defenseman, but at the same time, he has the speed to help get deep into the zone, but also help come back and support this big dude on the blue line. Travis Sanheim of the Philadelphia Flyers, it looks like he will be the odd man out and the healthy scratch for Team Canada. And yes, he might squeak in game 2 if somebody has an absolute stinker, but I don't disagree with that choice. Now the goalies. This is where it gets a little bit sketchy. We have Adin Hill, Binnington, and Sam Montembeault. And yeah, this is just not a good trio. Binnington has been announced as the starter for game 1 against Sweden, which is mind-boggling. Adin Hill, I think as a coach, I would have started him, but maybe the coaches for Team Canada see something different. The picture that I'm about to put up right now, it proves just how weak this Canadian goaltending trio is compared to what could be, and it just begs the question of why did you choose these guys? Adin Hill, over the past several weeks since the Four Nations roster was announced, these 3 goalies that are on Team Canada have been absolute dog crap, while the players that should have been taken, they've been absolutely amazing, the ones that should have been taken. Logan Thompson, Darcy Kemper, and Mackenzie Blackwood. Blackwood is an iffy player. Yes, he has been lighting it up for the Colorado Avalanche, playing absolutely amazing, but Thompson with a .931 in 17 games, Kemper with .927 in 19 games, and .925 for Blackwood in 23 games. That's absolutely redonkulous that these players are not playing for Team Canada. And Adin Hill, 900 over 17. Binnington, a 900 over 19. And Sam Montembeault, an 896 over 21 games. That's pathetic. Yes, the Montreal Canadiens have also been pathetic, but at the same time, you cannot justify this, Canada. I was calling for Thompson to make the team from the get-go. Kemper, I also had as possibly a third goalie. And it just doesn't make any sense to me that you wouldn't have picked at least one of those 3 players that didn't get chosen. So, but that's about it. That's my little rant about the Canadian goaltenders. I am petrified that they will just be a leaky sieve of goals in this tournament, and that will be the downfall of Team Canada, but I hope I'm proven wrong. Up next, we got Team Finland, and they have been absolutely decimated with injuries. They had to replace 3 of their initial defensemen that they announced. Miro Heiskanen and Jani Hakanpää were 2 of those 3 defensemen. I can't think of the third one off the top of my head, but at the same time, this is just a kerfuffle of a disaster. Rantanen, he was almost a doubt for this tournament as well, but at the same time, we'll go over, and this line is going to be in a blender for the defense, so don't take anything for granted. Starting off with the forwards, Lehkonen, Barkov, Rantanen, that's absurdly good. Hintz, Aho, Laine, that could be pretty good. Laine, he's been very quiet as of late for the Canadians. Eetu Luosterainen, Anton Lundell, and Michael Granlund, that should be a very good third line. And then Teuvo Teravainen, Erik Haula, and Joel Armia. And yes, they are also doing very good for their respective teams. Teuvo Teravainen on the Blackhawks, it's hard to do good. But Kaapo Kakko is a surprise that he was kind of the odd man out for this team. I would switch him in for Teravainen or Armia right now, just because he's having a pretty darn good start to his career as a Seattle Kraken since getting traded from the New York Rangers. So I just think I would slot him in ahead of somebody right now, especially Armia right now, because he's not doing too much for the Montreal Canadiens. So maybe replace that in the second game if it doesn't look too good. The defense, like Elliot Friedman says in this tweet, it's a lot harder to tell for the defense. Mikkola from the Florida Panthers and Lindell from the Dallas Stars, those seem to be a concrete set of pairings. Yoki Haru, he was a replacement. Oli Mata, Matin Palo, he was a replacement as well. Vakanainen and Valimaki. So all of those guys, something's going to happen there, and we will see what's going on there. UC Saros is a goaltender for the Finns. That's not on this picture. I'm sorry. But at the same time, UC Saros, it looks like he will be the starter for the Finns. We have Elliot Friedman helping us once again with the Swedish team. So starting off with the top line, it looks like it'll be Nylander from the Leafs, Zibanejad, and Rickard Rakell. Rickard Rakell was a replacement in this tournament, so getting to be on the top line is absolutely awesome for him. Kempe, Pettersson, and Forsberg as a second line, that's also very good. Jesper Bratt, Eriksson, Ek, and Lucas Raymond on the third line. Gustav Nyquist, Lindholm, and Arvidsson on the fourth line, and Leo Carlsson, the young guy from the Ducks, as the odd man out right now. That fourth line could easily, I could say Nyquist being replaced by Carlsson eventually. And yeah, the fourth line could be the weakness for the Swedes in this one. It's not a bad one whatsoever. It's an absolutely amazing fourth line. But at the same time, I could see it being a little bit of an Achilles heel for the Swedish team. The defensive pairings for the Swedes in practice today was Hedman Brodin, Ekholm, Carlson, that's awesome. Dahlin and Rasmus Andersson, and Forsling was sick and not practicing, but that was actually yesterday's defensive pairings, because it was reported today that Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames, he was the odd man out in the line rushes today, so we will see what happens there, because Forsling was back and practicing. So Andersson, hopefully he's not an odd man out, because I'd like to see a Calgary Flame playing at any time, but at the same time, yeah, we'll see what's going on there. And for the goaltending situation, it looks like it'll be Gustafsson starting, but there has been rumors that Samuel Ersson might get a shot at net as well, letting the next generation of goaltenders step up, and because since he is so young. But I don't see why it wouldn't be Gustafsson. He's having a very good season for the Minnesota Wild, so I would be shocked if it wasn't him. Last but not least, we got the stinky Americans, our neighbors to the south here in Canada, but holy crap, do they have a good team. Starting off, we got Connor from the Winnipeg Jets, Jack Eichel from the Golden Knights, and Matthew Tkachuk. That is stupidly good. Then we got Jake Gensel of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Matthews, and Hughes. Captain Matthews, let's just say that. He is Captain America in this tournament. And Brady Tkachuk, we got up next on the third line. JT Miller centering him, and Boldy. So that is a very good depth third line. Holy crap. Miller, he started off extremely hot for the New York Rangers, but he definitely slowed down as the couple games kept going. So we'll see how he does in a star-studded lineup. The fourth line, it'll be a little bit of a rotating kind of thing. Brock Nelson on the left wing with Trocheck in the middle. Larkin and Kreider were kind of rotating, so very good veterans from the States, which is just absolutely absurd. For the defense, we got Jacob Slavin and Adam Fox, Werenski and McAvoy, Hannafin and Faber. That is absolutely absurd that Noah Hannafin and Brock Faber are your depth, deep defensive pairing. That is so good. And then Jake Sanderson looks like he is the odd man out, since he replaced Quinn Hughes, who could not play in this tournament. Well, apparently he was just absolutely devastated that he couldn't be on the same team as his brother. That would have been very cool if the Americans had two sets of brothers on this team, too bad that it didn't happen. For the goalies, I can only imagine that it would be Connor Hellebuyck starting in net for the Americans. He's having an absurdly good season for the Winnipeg Jets, and I just don't see how it wouldn't be him. Last but not least, here's what I think the tournament will turn out to be, and I'm not going to predict the finals. In my opinion, it'll be the USA taking on Canada, but at the same time, I will not predict who's going to win, because I don't know how these teams look to get playing against each other and playing with each other. So I'm predicting the round robin, but not the finals. Of course, I want Canada to win, but I have a very sneaky suspicion that it'll be the Americans. But after the round robin play, I am predicting that the Team USA will be in first place with 7 points, 2 wins, 1 no loss, but 1 loss in overtime. I don't know who it'll be against, but I have a feeling they won't be perfect. I don't think anybody will be perfect in the round robin because it'll be either sloppy play or just be high scoring, but I think there won't be a absolutely perfect team. For the States, their 2 wins will get them the 6 points, but their overtime loss will get them the 1 point. For Team Canada, it's going to be a little bit of a weird situation. I have a feeling that they're going to disappoint in some manner, but their 2 wins would get them 6 points, but I'm saying that one of their wins will be in overtime, only getting them 2 points. And that's where the 1 win to get them 3, and then the overtime win to get them 2 will bring them to 5, and 1 regulation loss. So it's going to be interesting. For Sweden, I'm predicting that they're going to go 1-1-1 in this tournament. Their 1 win will get them a 3-pointer, but their overtime loss will get them another point, and they won't make the championship game. For Finland, I would love to see them do good in this tournament, but with all the injuries, I'm just predicting that they won't be able to overcome that hump, and they won't even win a game because there's just so much star power on the other 3 teams. I'm predicting that they'll go 0-2-1. Their 1 overtime loss will get them a point, and they won't get skunked at least. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and at least getting 1 point. So let me know how you think each team will do. Do you agree with my predictions? I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. Canada, they've been disappointing in tournaments lately, most recently being the World Juniors. So let's see what these teams will do. I would love for Canada to do amazing and win every game, but I just don't think that's realistic. So let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you on the live streams. We'll watch the games together. I obviously can't have the games on the screen while streaming, but we'll be talking, having some fun, and we will see you then. Have a great night. Talk to you later.